Ah, banknotes. These are the slips of paper that pass through our hands every day, tapped, folded, stuffed in wallets. But don't be fooled, they're never just money. Banknotes represent power printed in ink, ideology on linen, with identity and ideology stitched into every watermark. And this one, a $10 note from 1928 China, it's got a few stories to tell. The note tells us where it was printed. It wasn't issued in Beijing or Nanjing, the political capitals of the day, but in the coastal city of Shanghai. Now, why was it printed in Shanghai? Because in the 1920s, Shanghai wasn't just any Chinese city. It was a commercial colossus, the beating economic heart of East Asia, and thanks to a few imperialist arrangements, better known as the unequal treaties, Shanghai was also a jigsaw puzzle of foreign control. The British had their slice, the French had theirs. The Americans joined in too. Each ran their own show. Police, banks, courts, the works. All smack in the middle of Chinese territory. Imagine parts of Glasgow, New York or Paris being run by Beijing. It was a surreal situation that was deeply humiliating to the Chinese. But at the time, they were powerless to push out the foreigners. So the Chinese had to trade with them on their terms. Nevertheless, when the Central Bank of China, controlled by the Nationalist Government under Chiang Kai-shek, wanted to issue a new note, one that said, "We mean business," they didn't choose Nanjing, their capital. They went where the cash flowed and the world was watching. Shanghai. But hang on, what's this? The note is in dollars, not yuan or renminbi. Aye, it's a bit odd, but there's logic in the madness. You see, China at the time wasn't on the gold standard like most of the Western world. It was still clinging to silver, a tradition older than many of the dynasties that had come and gone. And the silver coin of choice, the one the people trusted most, wasn't even Chinese. It was the Mexican peso, or as folks called it, the Spanish dollar, the legendary piece of 8. For over 200 years, these silver coins had sailed into Chinese ports, trusted for their weight and consistency. The Chinese called them yuan, meaning round coin. Foreigners, used to their own terms, called them dollars, and that's how, in English, yuan quietly became dollar. This wasn't unique to China, mind you. British trade dollars minted in India circulated through Hong Kong and Malaya. The Japanese yen, also silver, got around in Korea and Manchuria. The Americans even tried their luck by issuing something called the trade dollar in the late 1800s. Bottom line, if you were trading in Asia and your coin was silver and it weighed right, it was called a dollar. So when the central bank issued this note in bilingual format, Chinese and English, it used yuan for the locals and dollar for the foreigners. Same coin, different tongues. It made business sense. It also made the note feel legitimate in a city crawling with foreign banks and brokers. Now, here's the real kicker. The note wasn't just about currency, it was about control. Because by the late 1920s, China's economy was in chaos. Warlords were printing their own money, sometimes backed by silver, sometimes backed by wishful thinking. Villages hoarded silver. City folk didn't trust paper. Inflation loomed, and unity felt like a pipe dream. Then came 1928. Chiang Kai-shek, fresh off the success of his northern expedition, had just muscled his way to the top. His goal? Reunify China, not just by sword, but by signature. And one of the first things he knew he needed to fix: the money. A stable national government needed a stable currency accepted by both foreigners and locals. He tasked the central bank with issuing new silver-backed notes, ones that could travel from Guangdong to Gansu and mean the same thing everywhere. And this $10 note? It was one of the first out the gate. It wasn't just a banknote, it was a declaration. This is our republic. This is our money. Trust it. And smack in the middle of it, looking calm, resolute and impossibly clean-shaven, is Dr. Sun Yat-sen, the revolutionary who overthrew the Qing dynasty, the man hailed as the father of modern China. Dead for 3 years by the time this note came out. But his face? It was everywhere. Still is, if you've ever seen a modern 100 yuan bill. Because symbols matter. Paper matters. And in 1928, this note wasn't just about buying a bowl of noodles or paying your tailor. It was about faith in a fragile future. The 10 yuan note was about telling the world who was the real government of China. So next time you glance at a banknote, any banknote, ask yourself, what story is it really trying to tell?